Hi, and thanks for tuning in for another board meeting recap from the February 3rd meeting of our Elko County School District Board of Trustees. We had our meeting at Spring Creek Middle School, the first time in quite a while, I think, that a board meeting was held in the community of Spring Creek. So that was awesome to be there at the middle school. And just want to give you a quick recap of what we talked about and things that happened at that meeting. We started off with an introduction of our student board member for the night, and that was Justine McDermott, who is a senior at Spring Creek High School. Justine has an impressive 4.9 weighted GPA. She has been involved with soccer and the National Honor Society and has been named to 3 academic all-state teams and was also named honorable mention to the All-East defense team for soccer. She was also recognized for Student Athlete of the Month at Spring Creek High School, and her future plans are to attend Idaho State University and pursue a degree in accounting. Justine was a wonderful addition to our board at the meeting, and appreciate her time and preparation for the meeting. After introducing Justine, we were able to recognize Cash Harris, who was the Nevada 6th grade winner of the 2025 Scholastic Challenge. So for the state of Nevada, he won for 6th grade. Very impressive. It sounds like, unfortunately, due to some budget constraints with the Scholastic Challenge, this was the last time, at least for the near future, that they're going to be holding that. So that's unfortunate, as Spring Creek Middle School has historically always done very well in participating in that challenge. But either way, congratulations to Cash Harris for doing a wonderful job in representing our school district and his school in that competition. We also received a wonderful presentation from a variety of students at Spring Creek Middle School regarding their community service projects, and whether it's their Hope Squad or their student leadership team or other organizations, they were able to share about a wide variety of projects that they've done, from planting trees to raising money for disabled veterans, and then obviously to the work that goes on with Hope Squad at their school, as it does at other schools as well. It was very obvious that at Spring Creek Middle School there's an increased focus on giving back to the community and on citizenship, which, as I pointed out at the meeting, is an excellent example of one of those competencies of our newly established Portrait of a Learner: to be a trustworthy leader, to be which engulfed in that is the idea of being a responsible citizen who gives back to their community. So kudos to Spring Creek Middle School leadership, the sponsors for all those clubs and organizations, for doing a great job of giving back to their community and their school community. We were able to recognize 3 STARS recipients for the month of January, all who came from our Spring Creek schools. The first one was Mrs. Holly Whittle, who is an art teacher at Liberty Peak. Holly had a very impressive 4-page nomination highlighting the many things she does for her school and community, and including charitable fundraisers and other student leadership opportunities that she provides for her students. And that nomination was put together by over 30 of her colleagues, administrators and friends from across the Spring Creek community. So congratulations to Holly for having such a widespread impact with students and staff alike. We had another art teacher who also was recognized, and that was Brooke Lowe, who's at Spring Creek High School. And she had a wonderful nomination from a student who in multiple ways pointed out how patient Mrs. Lowe is with all of the students, and sometimes with their antics, but also always offering support and helping students to achieve even in spite of challenges that may exist. And then the last recipient of the month was Amy Peterson, who is a teacher at Spring Creek Middle School, and she was also nominated by one of her students, Noah Rowland. And Noah was present at the meeting to read the nomination for her teacher, and she cited just the extreme relaxation and comfort she felt as a student last year being in Mrs. Peterson's class, and how Mrs. Peterson establishes just a safe environment for kids to take risks, to learn, to grow, and to do so knowing that their teacher is going to care for them and treat them without judgment. And so it was a very heartfelt, wonderful nomination from Noah for her teacher, Mrs. Peterson. Following the STARS recipients, we received a CTE update from our CTE coordinator, Heather Steele. It was an awesome presentation with lots of slides. You can see those slides that are linked in the recap newsletter that comes along with this video. And just some things to just highlight are that, CTE obviously is a very important part of our school district and of our goals. It's under Pillar 1 of our strategic plan. One of the very important actions was to expand our CTE pathways and our dual credit offerings for our students, and both of those things are elements that Heather works on within her sphere as the CTE coordinator. Very important kind of data points were thrown out there about just how many programs we have. I think it would probably surprise everyone if you were to see the list of all the programs. Sometimes we're very aware of what our kids have at the school we work at or the school they go to, but it's quite a large number of programs that we're offering to our students and opportunities for them. And what we also know is that increased participation in CTE pathways, meaning if you're enrolled in CTE and you complete a CTE pathway, that the graduation rate of a CTE student is somewhere in the range of about, it's higher than 95%, usually in the 98% range. So I think that's more than correlation. There's probably quite a bit of causation there with the type of student that is in CTE, who is committed to that pathway and is focused on their education and their future. And so any way we can help kids find CTE pathways that they're interested in and passionate about, then that matters so much for their future success. And at this point, we're sitting around 600 of our middle school students are involved in CTE programs, and right around 2,000 of our high school students. And we'd love to keep seeing that increase as we add more offerings and sections and pathways, but also encourage all teachers and parents and community members to have their students engage in CTE. Under our action items, we had a few policies that were present at our last board meeting for first read and review, and I'll just reiterate what those are real quick. So policy BC/BCA has to do with board organization, and that's usually related to the first board meeting of the year. So there's just a little bit of cleanup language to make sure our policy is consistent with our practice, and so that policy passed at the meeting. The next one, BDD, is about board meeting procedures, and so again some cleanup language to make sure we're doing things the right way, which also included along with it a deletion of policy BDDD, which had some redundancies, and we were able to kind of rope some of those important things into BDD, consolidate them into that policy, and have it all current. We also had the implementation of a new policy, GBC 20, which has to do with incentives and additional compensation, and that is referring specifically to when employees are receiving additional funds and compensation for their work as it relates to programs that are federally funded. And so we had some pretty important elements that we had to make sure we're in a policy to be compliant with those federal funding guidelines. The next action item was what everyone knows as buyouts, but on the agenda it's called a request for purchase of retirement service credit. And this year, the board did engage in a healthy discussion about whether or not they would approve those purchase of retirement service credit or buyouts. And ultimately, it was determined in a close vote that because of the current state of our district's finances, that they would not be approving those for this year. But every single board member, regardless of whether they voted in favor or against the approval of those credits, spent a lot of time thanking and acknowledging all those employees who put in for that purchase because of how highly valued you are, if you're one of the people listening, for the many years you've put towards the Elko County School District, and just wasn't a good situation this year for the board to be able to do that. I'm going to skip the next two items that were pretty simplistic, and then move on to the 4.07, which was a facilities and construction update. A lot more in there than I'll talk about now, but just kind of a few highlights are that we're currently out working on the bid process for the Wells High School gym roof replacement, and anticipating putting together a bid proposal and getting board permission to go to bid for a Jackpot High School mechanical upgrade as well for their heating system. And then the Owyhee project is coming along great. That school's in great shape. The mild winter has given us a lot of flexibility for getting some work done and faster than we thought we would originally. And then the other one Matt gave a quick update on, Matt Stalkey, Gave an update on was the Flag View boilers that went down a couple weeks ago, and just an understanding of kind of what happened there, what the costs associated with it are, and and some confusion that existed around, like, you know, why can that be done that way, and how is that different from a full mechanical upgrade that we do at other schools. And so just giving some awareness and explanation of that. We were very fortunate to have that have that project or that repair or replacement done just over the weekend. We were sad to have lost a day of instruction at Flag View due to the boiler failure, but very grateful for Snyder Mechanical and all the work they did, and tirelessly working over the weekend, as well as some of our district maintenance and journeyman folks to make sure that school was back up and running the next Monday for our students at Flag View. And as a reminder, anything related to capital improvement, while that is all money that is within the district, you know, it's always important to reiterate that during times of budget concerns and constraints, that the funds that are spent on capital improvement projects are not related to the current issue we are facing with our general fund. Those are separate funds and have to be used for those purposes only, and are not able to, for the most part, to help alleviate the other concerns that we're having with our budget. So. Then, speaking of budget, I'll conclude this recap with just giving people a little bit of a preview. So in 2 weeks, we're going to have our February 17th board meeting, but preceding that board meeting, there's going to be a separate meeting that is a budget workshop. Both the budget workshop and the board meeting will both be open meeting, will both be agendized, and will be open to the public. And so if anyone wants to tune in to the budget workshop, there will not be decisions made about our budget during the budget workshop. It'll be more of just a workshop for the board to understand, get more insights into how the school budgeting works and how the state funding works. So it could be a great opportunity for anyone else needing to get more insight and information into that. But creating the opportunity for board members to be able to ask questions specific to our current situation as it pertains to information from the workshop. So that's the reason for it being made an open meeting, and just an opportunity for those questions to be answered and really wrap their heads around what's going on, both at the state level and at our district level, and how it can help inform them in their decision making. Then later at the board meeting on the 17th, same day, that is the target date, and still we're on target for me to explain to the board kind of what my recommendations are for moving forward, for addressing some of our budget concerns, and you know, also making known the work of the budget subcommittee that had been working to put together recommendations for me. So we'll have a report from that committee. We'll also have my recommendations, and we'll have a good discussion about where we're currently at, and kind of how these suggestions, recommendations, and adjustments will help our situation for going into what is soon to be the budgeting process for next school year. So stay tuned for February 17th, and feel free to participate in either or both of those meetings as you see fit. And thank you again for your involvement and engagement in our school district, and have a great day, and see you next time.